Did you know there's more permutations in an 100-truck network than grains of sand in the world? And we're really supposed to make these decisions in our head. Not so easy. This is why Optodynamics is developing the decision layer in logistics supply chain. And in the theme of rapid-fire demos, we're going to ask 3 questions in the next 5 minutes that our customers ask themselves on a daily basis. Questions that drive millions of dollars of impact to their businesses. 1, how do I respond to our customers' RFP events? 2, how do I respond on a daily basis to which loads I should be accepting to my asset network or my brokerage operation? And 3, how do I best dispatch my drivers? So let's dive in. Our first solution is called Plan. Plan is a simulated digital twin of your operation, and it allows us to do 3 core functionalities. First, it allows us to look at our main KPIs and visualize them. These would be revenue, profit, service coverage. It also allows us to look at information like our shippers, lanes, and drivers. And because of the modeling of such a high level of detail, we can also dive into the information extremely well. So we can look at drivers, average miles per driver and driver class. We can look at our shipper information as well, revenue, profit, and even something called true profit, which allows us to understand profit and also the impact that each one of our customers have in our network. So let's dive in and ask a question. One of our second largest customers has just called us and asked us to respond to an RFP event. So we can easily create a simulation, upload that bid to the platform, and in just a couple clicks, we can attach the bid that we just received via Excel or CSV and upload it to our platform. But that's not it. We know next year we're going to be growing our operation, but primarily on the regional drivers. They're easier to hire, and it's a better quality of life for them. But we don't know exactly how that's going to impact our operation. We can easily add, let's say, 15 drivers to our network, add those to the simulation, and then click Run Simulation. And in just a couple clicks, we've set up the simulation so that we can have an accurate result. In around 5 minutes, we'll get a response. So let's dive in to see the response here. We're specifically going to focus in on how could we cover that bid and what lanes were the best lanes from our network. So we can dive in specifically to that bid, which in this case is shipper 32, and look on a lane-by-lane basis exactly how we would have covered that bid in our network, allowing us to have that actionable information so that when we respond to our shipper customer, we know exactly what freight we can and cannot move. We can also compare the data against a base case. So we can not only know how we're going to respond to that event, but how it's going to impact us compared to another scenario. In this case, we see it's going to drive around $700,000 of profit over the year. And in just a couple clicks, we were able to respond and analyze a bid and also understand the impact of a changing driver fleet to our network. Let's start moving into our second application, which is called Execute. Execute helps us automate and optimize our operational decisions to drive resilient, self-healing operations. And because Plan and Execute are attached to the hip and use the same sort of algorithmic engine to drive its decisions, any decisions that you make in Plan can be perfectly merged into Execute. No change management, no mistakes. The first thing that we're going to do in Execute are what we like to call tactical decisions. These are decisions that we typically make 1 day to up to 3 weeks in the future, usually around what loads to accept. Within the first screen, we can automatically see all the loads that are destined to be moved within our asset network. We're able to model companies at an incredibly high level of detail and understand what freight is going to come into the network. And so when you see a load score, for example, 100, whether it's a day or 2 weeks in the future, you know that if you accept that load, it's going to be a good load off for your operation. And we can also drive significant automation. We can book and process up to 100 loads at once, allowing you to act and make quick decisions and move on with your day. Vice versa, we can also understand what loads we shouldn't move on our network. And we should either reject or we should be moving through our asset-light operations or our brokerages, giving us time to find and secure capacity versus having the war stories of doing this 24 hours out. But that's not all. We also need to understand where we may have gaps in our networks. We can also do this up to 3 weeks in the future and understand where we may actually have to procure freight to keep our network profitable and busy. In this scenario, we can see that we need around 23 to 29 loads in about 2 days out of Texas to keep our network moving and profitable. Now our sales team and our ops team can go find that freight on load boards or with our customers to keep our business moving. Now, once we've actually booked our business into our operations, It's now time to execute and dispatch these loads. The dispatch application within Execute allows us to fully automate and optimize the operational dispatch decisions that we have to deal with manually on a daily basis, assigning drivers to loads or loads to drivers. But it also allows us to go beyond that. We're not just creating one static plan that if it breaks, it won't work, but we provide flexibility. Your driver managers and operators can actually adjust these plans. And so we may not like the first load, but the second load might work. The system will instantly re-optimize to the network and allow you to move on with your day. And then just like our load acceptance tool, we can execute up to 100 loads at once so we can get back to our customers. And this is really the power of what we call artificial decision intelligence that's been built from over 40 years of research from Princeton University. In just 5 minutes, we are able to analyze a bid, understanding an ever-changing operation with our drivers. We automatically responded to load tenders and planned up to 3 weeks in the future, and we executed our drivers. My name is Daniel Powell. I'm the CEO and founder of Optimal Dynamics. This is Andrew Brazell. He's our VP of Partnerships. If you'd like to learn more about Optimal Dynamics, please visit our booth or near the registration and understand how we can drive value to your business. Thank you.